Hi guys, so it's been a while, but I'm still here. Been a lot busier than usual, so for the time being, we're just gonna chill and we're gonna talk about the launch of Season 9 or Apex Legends Legacy to see if it was a hit or a miss. It's now officially 1 month of the season, so let's see if it stood up to all the hype or if it wasn't that great as expected to be. So for starters, let's see how the hype of Season 9 started. For teasers, to start it off, it wasn't really anything different compared to others sooner where we had to see some tiny clips indicating Valkyrie or the Peacekeeper returning. A new map update, which actually turned out to be Party Crashers, was revealed in some teasers. It wasn't anything until they hit us with the Arena teaser, which was shown by Ash. It was a fun little mini event where you find a keycard, you collect hollow sprays, and then when you collect everything, you go to the firing range and it'll present you the full teaser for it. It was very well made and for sure it got everybody hyped up, seeing something brand new that we will never get to see in Apex Legends, a permanent mode outside of the Battle Royale genre. Next was the introduction of Valkyrie and her story, and it was amazing. The fact that Respawn are tying the ropes of Apex and Titanfall lore together and bringing it much more closely and putting both together is absolutely wonderful to see. Overall, the hype was truly there for everybody, much greater than Season 7 hype when we got Olympus, or just as amazing as Season 3 when we was getting World's Edge. But did it really live up to it? Trying to make this season the greatest that it could ever be. For the launch, it was a huge disappointment. No hate for the developers of Respawn because I know they never wanted this to happen, but the launch did not went as smoothly as planned. Rarely anybody could have played on launch day. Many streamers were left to watch the menu screen, waiting for hours upon hours to play the new update. Many new players that probably wanted to try the game on launch day couldn't because the launch was so bad. Even though later down in the line, PC Apex were breaking records on Steam, if the launch went down as smooth as it should, who knows what kind of records they could have set. Even after the launch day passed, some problems were still there. Like for instance, you could have only played the original 6 Legends. Nobody could have played Valkyrie for the first few days. So yeah, the launch really did hurt the game badly, right? So now, let's just say all the server problems has been fixed and everybody is able to play the update. We had the new legend, arenas, a map update for Olympus, new weapon, balance changes. There was just so much given to us, and for me at least, the launch was honestly a huge hit. This is how you launch a new season very strongly. First on the list, let me talk about Valkyrie. I don't want to say too much about her because I want to make a separate video for her, but to make it plain and simple, her release was a success. This is how you're supposed to release a new legend. That's all I'm gonna say. Let's talk about arenas. At launch, it was so much fun. It's something brand new, something different, making you play completely different to the way that we are custom playing Apex. More head-on fights, and it eliminates the problem players always have to face every single game, which is third party. It's just you and the enemy squad. It's also great for players that are accustomed to games like Valorant, Counter-Strike, Overwatch, where you need to be more strategic in your matches. You need to make up a game plan, create a comp to win. You know, it will attract those types of players into Apex, therefore it will increase the player base. It was just very well made. There's only one big downside for arenas, and that is it can get boring very quickly. After everybody got adjusted to arenas and know how to play properly, it does get stale pretty fast. After a month, nothing changed in arenas at all, only 3 out of the 5 maps being rotated, and when it does rotate, it does only rotate 1 map. So pretty much you've been stuck playing the same 2 maps with one being swapped out every 2 weeks. So yeah, you could basically see why it was getting really boring and why there was not much players making the switch to make arenas their permanent mode. This kind of killed the hype for some players. It didn't become fun for some people, and for a few it made the game to where they never want to touch arenas again. That's all we had to say about arenas. For the map update that we got, to some it was pretty laughable because there was only one new POI, and now a lot of people choose to go to that place because it was next to Bonsai Plaza, which is a much more populated location. It did work very well for the problem for everybody who like to accidentally jump off the map, so you never had to worry about that ever again. The Bocek bow, which is the new weapon that we got, a new type of weapon, and my god, this weapon was absolutely broken. Probably the most broken weapon that has ever been released in Apex. Because it was such a super silent weapon, the damage was unreal and it could stack so many arrows. It was just a recipe for disaster. But thankfully, all these problems has been adjusted and it is in a much more balanced state now. You don't really see that much people running the Bocek bow now. Even though it was that broken, it was super fun to play with. and just so refreshing. The changes to other weapons and the legends were amazing as well. We got to see some changes that people want. Some people cry about so many nerfs like the lifeline one, but it was honestly a buff in the sky. She actually felt more stronger than before. Loba is so much fun with her bracelet fix and the movement penalty being removed. You can see a lot of people actually gravitating to main Loba now. PK's Flawless was definitely well needed. So much fun while the triple take took its place. All the legends and weapons are probably in its most balanced state that it could ever be, except the Spitfire. Please, give it a proper nerf. I'm fed up. I'm fed up dying to this weapon. Overall, like I said, the start was very strong. Many new things to keep us engaged, to keep playing Apex. But as time went on and time has passed, nothing new was being added. And that's something that you don't ever want to do. Normally after about 2 weeks, 3 weeks, you would start to see some sort of new event to keep the players engaged, you know, keep the people playing the game, but that is not the case. That's been confirmed that the game will be on a dry spell for content until the end of June, just something that you never want to do for a video game. It is gonna be about 7 to 8 weeks since we had our last content drop. Video games should have at least some smaller stuff planned or some stuff in place to keep their targeted audience entertained, to keep them playing for long. Even if it's something small like a throwback LTM playlist. Every weekend, every week, they'll bring back our old LTM, or they could bring back the old version of Kings Canyon, you know, OG Kings Canyon. Everybody likes Skull Town. Everybody miss Skull Town. Or World's Edge with the original capital city. The level of entertainment will be there, but sadly, the developers had explained that doing this will have a good chance of bringing back some bugs into the game, and it will take away the needed production time to fix those things instead of putting that time into bringing out new content. Even though the launch and all the content was amazing to play every day and to find something else until a new update comes, over time it will get stale. Let's be real. So to give my overall thoughts on Season 9, content-wise, it was one of the most successful and the greatest updates that we have ever gotten, but the quality of keeping the game entertaining for long was strongly not there. Launch day was a mess and the vibes was on a low since everybody right now is bored of Apex right now. Was Season 9 a big hit or was it a big miss? I believe it's both a hit and a miss. If the small stuff like having a proper launch day and having some mini events, and I talk about proper mini events, not those arena mini events, that was nothing. If those things were in place to keep the players engaged, then I would say it was a huge hit, but sadly I cannot say that. But what do you guys think? Was this one of the best seasons for you, or was it one of the worst? Or do you feel the same way like how I feel about both sides? Whatever it is, comment down below and let me know. Also, like the video if you enjoy, and subscribe to help the channel grow for more Apex Legends content. Hope you all are doing great, keep it at 100, and I hope to see all of you all in the next video. Later.